Chetty Bobby. Welcome to Wrasslin with Big E and the POT. Podcast tag champs of the whole world, slamming like a DDT. Got it like just like a figure four. Hulk Hogan, all they do is flex. Talking wrestling while they get the dough. Off the top like a superplex. Think they letting up? Hell no. Dusty Rose with the elbow. From the corner like a stinging splash straight to the face. I know you felt those. Hey, y'all crying out for help though. Rising up like the dead man. About to go upside your head like Stone Cold with the bedpan. Bottom line, if you want the facts, welcome to Wrasslin where you need to be. Chetty Bobby, this show improved like John Cena, you ain't seeing me. Bottom line, if you want the facts, welcome to Wrasslin where you need to be. Chetty Bobby, this show improved like John Cena, you ain't seeing me. See ya!
Hey, welcome to Wrasslin. I'm the POT alongside my tag team partner Big E, aka Them Wrestling Boys, and we're here to bring you another episode of premium wrestling content. Big E, what's up, bro?
My brother, we back at it like a crack at it. What's going on?
That much,
Hey, we're a little late with episode 8.
Hey,
but
we're
here though.
With these frigid conditions out here.
Right. We have Valentine's Day, and is the temperature that messed us up over here in the Welcome to Wrasslin studio. So, but we got the heat on, dog. We ready.
I hope so.
I don't know how long we can sit. I don't know how long we can take it, but we here.
Hey,
you know what I'm
rock and roll.
Hey, but it's episode 8, man. It was Welcome to Wrasslin. Episode 8, we're gonna be talking about we're gonna have a fun one. It's gonna be talking about our favorite title belts, our favorite championship belts. Whichever ones that we like, no eras, all eras, everything. So we'll get into that in a minute. We'll talk a little bit about Raw. Got the Elimination Chamber coming up. We'll talk about talk about the Chamber, because our next episode will be the preview of the Elimination Chamber. So, Raw. So we already know Jey Uso is going to go in Gunther. That's going to be your number, dare we say, night 1 or night 2 main event. Could be, could be not. We'll see. But we know that we got the 2. We got all 6 guys now that's going to be in the Elimination Chamber. CM Punk, John Cena, Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, Seth Rollins. That Seth Rollins and Finn Balor match was good, man. That was a good one. Raw was actually pretty good. They've been good. I think they've been real stellar a little bit lately, but they've been good. So, because the Pete Dunne and Penta match was good. I know that's your guy right there, Pete Dunne. I like Pete Dunne strictly for his
old school mentality,
yeah,
the bruiserweight. Bruiserweight. Yes, sir.
But he's got that old school mentality of, concentrate on body parts and all that good stuff. So yeah, we got to see AJ Styles return to singles action, which with him being 47, 48, I think, every match is a must-see with him, because you're not going to have him too much longer. He's not going to be – he is the phenomenal one. I don't see him being one of them guys stick around too long if he can't do the stuff that he can do. There's already some stuff that he's pulled out of his, repertoire, but he can still put on a great one. So, every match you get to see him is a must-see from here on out.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And that's one of our favorites, and we'll tell the story one of these days when we talk about the live event shows and stuff that we've been to on the episode. We'll do that. We'll talk about why he is and has been one of our favorites since the early 2000s. Excuse me. But yeah, Raw was good. We got the Women's Chamber. We know all 6 participants are going to be in that. Liv Morgan, Bianca Naomi, Bailey, Alexa Bliss, and Roxanne Perez. So that's going to be a good one. Going to find out in a week and a half. You're going to have your title matches will be set for WrestleMania. Going back to AJ Styles, I'm curious to see what they're going to do with him and Braun Breaker. You know, they're setting something up there. The Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. You know, we don't want to get too much into it because we're going to preview that. But as many times as those two have wrestled each other all through the years. I mean, they came up together in Canada and Ring Honor and Pro Gorilla or Gorilla Pro Wrestling, whatever it's called. I mean, they've wrestled each other a billion times. They're like Flair and Steamboat. Oh, wrestled Steamboat 37,000 times.
Yeah, what's that? Kevin Steen and El Generico.
El Generico, yeah. So really looking forward to seeing what they're gonna pull out. It's an unsanctioned one, so I'm believing it's gonna be nasty. They really gonna be out there trying to hurt each other, and you know what way to go to a PLV and you get to wrestle your real life best friend. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm sure they're gonna put on the show. Again, got to talk about Ricky Starks.
Absolute.
Well, Ricky Saints. He's Ricky Saints now, but he's officially with WWE. He's over there NXT. They're already setting something up with him and Ethan Page. So that in itself is going to be exciting, and I think it's going to add some more viewers to NXT. You know, as much wrestling as there is right now, it's so hard to watch everything live. And if you got a half of a life to live, you can't watch everything. You got to catch the highlights. You got to catch this. You got to catch, you know.
It's hard to even do that.
Right. Right. You know, we just started baseball season. So, you know, that's, you know, it's about to get crazy over here, you know, but I'm definitely tuning in to NXT and got to make it a must see for him and see where they go with him. I was a fan of him at AEW. I like, you know, I know he was you know, they kicked around. He's trying to be the Rock and everything, but he's really, you know, everybody. We've talked about this before. Everybody steals from everybody, and there's some kind of something that's a part of your character, your stick that you took from somebody in the wrestling business. So
absolutely.
You know, and if you're gonna bite off somebody, it might as well be the great one anyway.
You know, well, so. Also, I have a little respect for that guy too. I like you. I liked him, you know, back when he was with Taz and you know the FTW champion and all that. But dude, I heard Undertaker talk about him. And Undertaker mentioned I saw him doing the Busted Open thing with Billy Ray, and he mentioned that when he was training for his WrestleMania 32 match with Shane, he used to see Ricky Starks at the gym. You know, he said the kid was real quiet, you know, was putting his work in real quiet, wasn't all in his face and stuff. And finally, he said he just finally struck up a conversation. And he said, you know, he ended up being friends with the guy, you know, being just telling him pointers and all that. And he said he also helped Michelle McCool train for one of those Royal Rumbles that she was making a guest appearance in. So he got a different kind of respect for Ricky Starks. So you could tell when he saw him pop up on that NXT television show when he was watching with Bully, you could tell that he was like, my guy finally made it, you know,
like a proud friend, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
and shout out to Michelle. Cool. Yeah, shout out to Michelle McCool for getting gonna be in the Hall of Fame this year. Yeah,
absolutely.
So we got Triple H and we got Michelle McCool. So 3 more.
I think Demolition gonna be next. They just signed the Legends deal.
Oh, okay.
And they haven't been inducted yet. And you know, you want to talk about some. I mean, let's be real here. We ain't trying to get all deep dive in WWE Hall of Fame. But if you think of some of the wrestlers that's in the WWE Hall of Fame,
And then to think of the ones that are not, yeah.
Or not. Demolition definitely deserve to be in there if you're gonna go there. So
Right. Right. Yeah. So and then the sad part is you still got the Midnight Express hanging around, not in.
I still don't. I just think they should have got inducted at the same time as rock and roll. Like it could have did a
And I don't think that, and I don't think the Rock and Roll Express would have had one bit of issue with that. You know, I don't think they would have had a bit of an issue at all. You know, they didn't, that ain't every match they wrestled against was the Midnight Express, and they feuded with the Horsemen, feuded with them, feuded with, you know, Doom, and you know, Midnight feuded with everybody. They feuded with the Horsemen, the Fantastics, you know,
Road
but
Warriors.
right. So, but it always goes back to them four, you know, even with
Absolutely.
and the thing about that is they feuded with both sets of the faction.
Condrey
You know,
and Eaton.
right. And Stan Lane and Eaton. So
Right.
yeah. So yeah, that's a shame. We could do a whole show on guys that in our mind don't deserve to be there and the ones that should. So, but yeah, man, shout out to Demolition. So that would make 3. So you probably will have 2 more entrants. So we'll you know, excited to see who that's going to be. And you know, you want to get these guys in that are still alive, man. You want to give them their flowers before it's too late.
Right.
You know, I know they can't put 30 people in every time they have one, but you know, it's a, and of course you don't know when somebody's going to take their last breath, but you know when somebody's going downhill. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like I said, I would have loved for the Midnight Express to get in before Bobby Eaton had passed. You know, and
Or like see it. Really?
yeah,
Really? You
yeah,
know, so
but and then that goes back to that McMahon thing. Like now that he's gone, like it ain't no telling who they're gonna bring back.
right.
You know, to do stuff like that. But it would have been good for Sid to get in there. And if you're gonna put, and it's hard to argue about anything, people getting in because you got Coco Beware in there. You just being real, you know, and I mean Coco Beware is to me the claim to fame with just being on the card at the first WrestleMania. Or those first couple of WrestleManias, yeah, you was on the card, but it wasn't like you was, you know what I'm saying? You and Frankie wasn't tearing the house down, you know. So, but I mean, ain't no disrespect, but I'm just saying it's a lot more guys, there's a lot more for the business that's still out there that's not in there. So
I agree.
Yeah. So, but yeah, shout out to Michelle McCool, and hopefully what you say is correct. With Demolition, that'll be cool. Now, did they induct all 3? But I mean, Crush ain't with us anymore. So,
yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. I'm thinking they probably just gonna do Axe and Smash.
Yeah,
But who
Darso
knows?
and the Masked Superstar. Yeah.
But they hadn't even announced that yet. So
yeah,
who knows?
Yeah. And it's crazy because you know, Darso he had a lot of characters, but he was in the business for a long time.
Crusher Khrushchev, Rico
Right.
Man,
Yeah.
Smash. Yeah.
But he found it when he was with Demolition, though. I tell you, the only thing I didn't like about Demolition was
I already know what you gonna say.
when they walked to the ring, boy, they looked so dangerous.
Right.
But bro, the draws with the things come on, man.
It was like a cult in that real sex show these co HBO.
Do you remember on the Police Academy that one where they sent them guys they look like them. But I mean, when they had the vests on with the chaps, the black chaps, and the mask on, bro, they looked dangerous. And by the time they got ready to wrestle, you was like, well, wait a minute now. They
about to have an orgy or some shit.
Right. So we got Elimination Chamber coming up in a week and a half. We got you'll get 2 more SmackDowns. one more Raw before, as we're recording today. But yes, looking forward to it. We'll do a real detailed preview of that next week on episode 9. And then after that would be episode 10, dog. That's almost like a milestone.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
almost to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
but shout out to everybody that's listening, man. Shout out to everybody that's paying attention, that's subscribed, that's liking, that's commenting. If and as always, we're gonna say this now. If you got any questions, complaints, you want to be on the show, whatever, hit us up. Wrasslin@gmail.com. That's Wrasslin@gmail.com. You want to hear topics, anything, man, hit us up down there. It should be on the screen right there. But we're gonna jump into it, man. Episode 8, our favorite championship belts of all time. And I'm gonna let you kind of talk about a couple of your favorites. We'll go back and forth. You can start it off, but yeah, man. Let's hear it. Let's hear your thoughts. First of all, I want, before we start talking about one, I want to know your favorite era of titles. What company do you think had the best, without getting into detail, so we can start talking about them all, though?
Well, I can't, and this might not be the answer you're looking for, but I can't really say one or the other. I will say the era, though. I like the belts in the 80s, both companies, because I like now NWA. I felt like their belts. I think. Well, answer your question. I probably like that era better.
Me too.
In the 80s, like their belts. It's like, I know we're gonna talk about TV title and the national titles and all that were very similar looking, and the United States side had different variations of that. Of course, our OG is our OG, the Big Gold. But I also like the WWF in that era as well, just like Intercontinental. I like their tag titles that they had.
The tag team titles were huge at that time. Besides the Big Gold, they were probably the biggest titles that were on TV. Right. Because they were bigger. And that's the only complaint I had about WWF in the 80s is the Winged Eagle belt was always was small.
Yeah, I know.
Like the IC, the Intercontinental Championship was bigger, and we're talking about the one with the red logo. That Macho Man and Honky Tonk and all them guys had, and Steamboat, and yeah, that's like it just didn't make no sense. Like that was the top title, but it was the smallest one. You know what I'm saying? That always bugged me.
Well, I think with the Winged Eagle. And I don't really share this opinion, but a lot of people kind of look back at it and be like, that belt was kind of cool. Yeah. And just like, WWE recently brought it back for nostalgic, for that Saturday night's main event. And of course, Kevin Owens ran with it. And, we're part of the storyline where he was the real champion, but he carrying around the Winged Eagle belt. I think that's a belt that people probably appreciate more now than then. But to your point, though, that was the reason why I wasn't too crazy about it, because I felt like you're the world champion of a company. Again, the secondary title it's all opinions, but I felt like that Intercontinental title definitely was a better looking belt. And Hogan went through a lot of different variations of the world title during his run. Yeah, so Winged Eagle came in and played around when he lost to Andre. He lost to Andre, and Macho Man won the tournament WrestleMania 4. That was kind of when they really ran with that Winged Eagle. Yeah,
and that belt had a run. That belt itself, or that version of that belt, had a good run all the way to what, 98, 99?
Yeah, 98. Stone Cold.
Yeah, Stone Cold. The very next week, they brought that blue one out. Yeah. Right. And then they changed it to black. That was one thing with NWA and WCW, like they would switch stuff up. Like NWA would really switch it up, like just out of nowhere.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because they would go all out and deck. Like if you remember the tag team titles that Manny Fernandez and Rick Rude and the Rock and Roll Express and those guys had. And I mean, they really put their all into them belts. Them belts were cool looking. They were brand new. And then the next thing you know, they had the blue ones, you know, the blue NWA titles with the blue leather, the ones they had for
that version is one of my favorite tag titles.
Yeah. So, all right, man. Well, let's just go ahead and talk about it. Let's talk about it when you first seen it on TV. And let's just go ahead and get our all-time favorite out the way. And then we'll do that first, and then we'll just go through and talk about ones that we like. So let's just go ahead and throw it out there.
All right. Well, the OG, the Big Gold, the NWA World Heavyweight title, the Ric Flair was the one who introduced this version of the NWA World Championship, and it's the OG. It's probably till this day, it's probably the most, like, more people probably use the version of this belt to some degree. Hell, even the new WWE World title is basically a version of the Big Gold. They just, doctored up and slapped the logo in the middle of it.
Right.
But what made that belt to me so special, when I first seen that belt on TV, now you got to think about it. They had 10 pounds of gold.
Right.
Which was the belt, Dory Funk Jr. and Jack Briscoe and Harley Race. And
Bro, you
Dusty
talking about
Rhodes.
the belt that had a long run. Yeah.
You're right. That belt, and so and you got to think about what that belt looked like.
Right.
But when Nate's came out there with the Big Gold,
changed the game.
That was I was like, whoa, what the hell is that?
Right. And it had his name on there.
Had his name on it.
Man. And it was so detailed.
And he was suited and booted always,
right.
with his hair and his sunglasses on. And that belt just looked so, it made you look like, when you think of a champion, I can't help but think of that belt.
Right.
Till this day.
It looked so big. It was so huge. You know what I'm saying? And no diddy. But it was just, it had all the gold. It had the brown strap,
Yeah.
And for, we of course we learned later on that it was really burgundy.
Right.
But all the sweat and all that stuff and everything turned it brown. So all-time favorite of all time. There's nothing better. There's some close seconds. But I mean, for it to go, it left with Flair when he left in 93, and they brought it back and used it as the international championship. Then it was the world title. And again, after they got rid of the one like Vader and Ron Simmons and them had. But Black History Month, man, shout out to Ron Simmons, man, first ever African-American world heavyweight champion in wrestling. But yeah, man, you can't go wrong with that one. It's been used in WWE, WCW, NWA. It has been used in every indie promotion in probably all of the world. You just can't go wrong with it. So it's the greatest. That's our favorite. When we got it out the way, now we're going to have some real discussions about some good ones. So go ahead and throw another good one out there that you like.
All right. Since we kind of in that era, the Intercontinental Championship and the golden years, or they call that the golden years in WWF.
Okay.
The one that you mentioned with Macho Man and Steamboat.
With the red logo at the top.
Now, there's different variations of that belt, though. The red logo was the first one.
Yeah.
But they didn't really change the actual design of the belt, but they made a little minor adjustments. Like the logo was no longer red up top and stuff like that. But that belt, man, like I don't know. You explained earlier how it just looked better even than their world title at that time, in our opinion.
Right.
And even with where and everybody looked good wearing it. Mr.
Yeah.
Perfect, Bret Hart, HBK had different color straps. Ultimate Warrior had different
Or,
color straps.
yeah.
I mean, like that belt, it just I wasn't really crazy about the yellow strap and all that, but when HBK had the white with the white
Oh, the white
strap,
was ridiculous.
that was hard. That
Yeah,
was
yeah,
hard.
yeah. The white was hard. Yeah.
So, and of course, you remember Cody brought that back later, a different
Right.
variation of it, but you remember he brought that back.
Yeah. A
But
little bit
that belt,
smaller.
a little
Yeah.
bit smaller, but
Yeah.
that belt to me, uh, it just made you again look like a champion. Like it looked good with wearing around somebody's waist. Even Honky Tonk Man,
Right.
who at the time was the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in WWF at that time, and had held the record all the way till Gunther surpassed it
Yeah.
year and a half ago. But uh, a
You
year
also
ago, I
want
mean.
to you also want to think about what that title meant. That was the working title. That was the guy that was at all the house shows, that was at all the TV tapings.
Had
He
the
was
best matches.
right. That was the working man's title. That wasn't the heavyweight run around here not doing anything, wrestling once a month. They were wrestling every week on TV. It was a privilege to carry that title. It meant something to carry that title for a long, long time over there in that company.
Right.
And you've had some like Scott Hall and Kerry Von Erich. Like you've had some big time intercontinental champions. Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper it's
Roddy
not he
Piper.
held too many titles, but he
Nope.
held that one.
Absolutely.
You
Remember,
know.
Gold Dust had a gold version of it.
Right, right. Yeah. And then of course when the Rock got it, it changed. But like Stone Cold and The Rock and Owen Hart, they were all going after that title. Like that was
Right.
yeah, that title meant something.
Stone Cold threw it in the river,
Right.
which which they said wasn't even Intercontinental title technically. They said
Yeah.
it was like an old version of the one of their world tag team titles that they
Oh,
threw in the
okay.
river. And they said a fan actually found it and try to sell it back to WWF back then, and they was like, "No, we threw it in the river for a reason."
Right. I bet you they want it
And
now.
yeah, they probably gonna send Mick Foley to the
Right.
house,
Now they
and
can't send AJ no more. You don't work for the company no more.
right,
I thought he was good on it. I love that show.
right,
The Buried Treasure show on A&E.
yeah.
Oh, bro, that was cool. That was a cool show right there.
You talking about your boy Top Dollar? Shout
Hey,
out Top Dollar, or wherever he's in TNA now. I forgot his name. TNA. Lord
yeah.
forgive me, but shout
He's
out to
gonna.
that guy.
I'm 98% sure he's gonna be at that show we're going to for Sunday.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, 97%, not about 95% sure.
Damn. So, or is it 93 or is it 91?
What's an A? 90 to 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 89% sure you're gonna be there.
Okay, so you're 85% sure. Okay.
What's a C?
Hey, it's passing.
Hey, and that's the most important thing. You gotta get on the field.
Right.
All right. So we talked about the IC title. I'm gonna go ahead and throw out the NWA Television Championship, the silver one. You know what? We should have been pulling up pictures on here too, so everybody could see what we're talking about. And yeah, we'll get it together one of these days. But TV title, man, one of my favorites of all time. Matter of fact, 10 pounds gold and the TV title sitting right there, right behind me. But the red strap is my favorite one. It was great with the black strap as well. But the guys who carried that title in the matches they had, you talking about Double A, Sting, Steve Austin, the Great Muta. Man, so many have held that title. And I mean to tell you, the Tully Blanchard, that was that was every week. 15-minute, 10-minute time limit on TV.
Yeah, that belt right there is probably size for Big Gold.
Yeah.
That was my favorite NWA championship belt.
Yeah.
Like I love that belt. Till this day, I'm so jealous that you had that on your wall. I like the fact that it was silver. It was
Yeah.
different,
A little
you know,
different. Yeah.
a little different, and it was with the red. It just hit hard with the red or the black strap. I personally like the black strap better.
Yeah.
But same belt, same design. Again, that those belts in that era, especially the NWA titles, they really whoever the manufacturer was at that time really was doing the damn thing when it came to their belt designs.
Right.
So
Right. Because they had a lot, even like, and we can just talk about the national title too, the WWE national title that was actually the main title for Georgia Championship Wrestling was exactly the same, except for the different color. It was silver and it had the little gold outlines.
right.
But that was the thing about NWA back in the day. Like the world title was gold, but the rest of the titles were silver. The US title back in the day, before they changed it.
Yeah, with Magnum and
Yeah.
Tully, Dark K85, I quick
Yeah,
match
that
day.
was
It was
it was
silver
the
then.
same design. It was same design.
Right.
TV title was the same design. They were just all silver.
Right.
Which is cool because it really separated from the fact that I'm the world champion. I'm the one with the gold championship. I'm the one with the 10 pounds of gold, not the silver.
We got to talk about the side plates too, because it was the TV championship, so they had like the ABC logo.
NBC, yeah.
Yeah, and that was a big deal back then because now we have all this streaming platforms, all
Right.
these cable channels, Netflix, all kinds of stuff going on these days. But back then, man, we'd be lucky to have 5 or 6 channels.
Right.
And so it let you know that, hey, this TV title, even though it didn't come on ABC and NBC,
right.
but it was
Came
like,
on
hey,
TBS, yeah.
you knew that's a TV championship.
Ooh, that water's good. But yeah, absolutely. One of my favorites, and like I say, one of your favorites. Yeah, you couldn't go wrong. NWA went crazy back in the 80s with all their belts, man, that they had. Western States title, the tag team title, the US title when they changed it to gold, US tag title, 6-man tag title. So yeah, NWA in the 80s had it on lock.
I agree.
Yeah. Go ahead. What you got now? What you got next, player?
Now this one is my number 2 belt of all time.
All right, it's a stogie break. Smoke them if you got them.
So this one to me is my number 2 favorite, and that's the IWGP World Heavyweight Title, the version 4 version of that belt. And again, I guess if we had a picture, that would be great. But the reason why I like this title so much because it was another big belt. It made you think like, okay, that's the champion. And again, this is a company for New Japan Pro Wrestling. So a
Right.
lot of people who may not be aware of New Japan Pro Wrestling, which is called IWGP, Tony Inoki's company, they had 2 rival companies over Japan. All Japan, New Japan. Giant Baba had All Japan. Tony Inoki had New Japan, and they was rivals for years. 2
right.
biggest Japanese wrestlers. Well, technically Inoki's not Japanese, but 2 biggest Asian wrestlers in Japan at that time.
Right.
And but the IWGP was the 4th version of that belt, Now they have a fifth version of the belt, which had like a little V like look, which is a cool looking belt as well. But this one,
Yeah.
the version 4 was just again, it was big, had some cool looking coins on it, like in the top and the bottom. Then the side plates were real cool because they had the names of the champions on the side plate. It
Right.
had like like as a plaque or something. It's and again, it was big. And different. A lot of wrestlers carried that belt, especially a lot of American wrestlers.
Right.
Um, AJ Styles and um, well, Jay White's not American, but Jay White, he's a British wrestler. Of course, Shinsuke Nakamura, uh, Okada, and there's so many of them Japanese names. I want to butcher none of the names. I have much respect for the Japanese wrestlers.
Right.
Um, but you got to think of guys who paved the way, like any era, any company in wrestling. You have the Inokis and the Riki Choshus and the Tatsumi Fujinamis and the
Right.
Masahiro Chonos, Kensuke Kasaki, the Great Muda, which is Kaji Muto, and but they didn't
Right.
have that version of the belt. It came later, which
Right.
guys
Right.
like Okada and Nakamura and those guys had that version of the belt.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I was able to throw a little picture up there, and I'm gonna go to and let everybody see it. But I want to talk about ECW championships
Absolutely.
and what makes them so cool to me. And I haven't really heard anybody like ever talk about it, but I think their titles were like digs at WWE. Because if you remember, their TV title was the Winged Eagle belt, and that was
True.
their TV title. Like, it was almost like it's your championship is not good enough to be our championship; it's good enough to be our TV title. And then their tag titles were the same design as the Intercontinental title, but they were silver. But they looked so cool, and they had the ECW with the little barbed wire in the letters and stuff. And I ain't got time to sit here and try to find out these pictures. Like I say, we'll get it together one of these days and be, the top notch podcast that we are. But as of right now, we're just gonna talk. But I and the course the heavyweight title was cool that franchise had, but I just it was just different to see those when you first saw them titles. You were like, wait a minute, wow, that's the Intercontinental title. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I just
They
it
were
was like
familiar, but they was different.
right. Like I say, the IC titles were silver, but they were the tag team titles for ECW. And then of course when you had RVD had both of them and would wear them at the same time, one on top of each other. Man, bro, we definitely gonna have to talk about ECW coming up pretty soon. But I love those belts. I thought they were really cool. I thought it was cool how to me it was like I said, they were taking a dig. So that was some heel stuff. So I like that. So it made me like the titles even more. But that TV title, man, you talk about Bam Bam Bigelow, RVD, Sabu, Taz, list goes on, and some big time players had that title. Big time.
Right.
And again, it's just like the TV title was in ENWA, IC was the working man's title. Rob Van Dam was gonna be out there every week, doing everything he was doing. And jumping into the crowd and doing the flip out the front rope into the crowd every week for that TV title. Taz and Bam Bam Bigelow, they had some throwdowns for that championship. And yeah, man, you can sit here and talk about ECW being too violent and stuff. Some of those matches were some great wrestling matches. They had a lot of great technical wrestling matches when they had Eddie Guerrero and Jericho and Lance Storm. Man, they had a deep roster of some real
Absolutely.
talented guys.
Absolutely.
You know, and not to get off subject, but you know, that was a main roster they had back then, especially in their heyday before they started signing everybody and trying to, you know, get everybody. You know, they had Raven and Stevie Richards, and you know, I think they, you know, Public Enemy, you know, the Pit Bulls, the Dudleys, the Gangsters, the Samoan Gangster Party, you know,
BWO.
right. We're taking over. Buy the shirt. Buy the shirt. But yeah, man, big fan of the ECW titles back then. Not
Absolutely.
a fan of that first TV title they had that didn't have no side plates.
Now that was weird looking.
That Two Cold Scorpio had, and Jimmy Superfly Snooker was the TV champ over there.
Shout out to Cold Scorpio.
Right, absolutely, man, absolutely. And actually top the Scorpio and just gonna throw it out there. Hopefully, it hasn't been a full agreement, but it said that he'd be coming on the show pretty soon. So, you know, hopefully we can make that work and make that happen.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, shout out to Cold Scorpio, man. Good dude. Going through some hard times right now, man. So, you know, if you are faithful and believe, man, keep him in your prayers. Keep it going, man. Let's talk about a couple more.
This one I'm gonna go with. We're gonna do a little TNA.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say one of their world titles. They had different versions of it though, because of course you remember they went with the 10 pounds of gold when they were first around, and then when they NWA kind of retracted from them, they had their own version of world title. But I like the second version of it, the one that had the letters was all the one that Sting and Kurt Angle and Bully and all the guys had. Had the big letters.
Yeah,
I like that one. They had some cool looking side plates. And,
and it was almost like a you knew it was silver,
right?
But the way the metal was, how it just shined and everything, man, that was a cool bet, and it was huge.
Right,
it was really big. So, yeah, man, that was I definitely dig that one. Definitely.
Yeah,
that was a good one. And you know, you just named some of the superstars. The Waste has been around: Sting, Bully Ray, AJ Styles. The list goes on. We can't, you know,
Bobby Roode and Lance Storm briefly. I mean, it was, of course, and you know, I've been told you I found that TNA channel.
Yeah.
And man, it brought back a lot of memories, bro. Seeing AJ Styles back then, like, I mean, with LAX and Beer Money and man, it just brought back a lot of memories, man. They had a hell of a roster, man. Kurt Angle was still in prime. Samoa Joe was a beast, and they had a main event. Mafia.
Sting wasn't over the hill, could still go.
Right.
Sting can wrestle right now, but you know, you talking about 10, 15 years ago that was still putting on the show. Yeah.
Yeah, it brought back some good memories, man, while watching that stuff.
Yeah, man. TNA, they had it going on for a long time, you know, and every year they were going out of business, and you know, and I mean, look at it, they still going to this day. You know, of course, it's Impact, but it's still TNA.
Yeah, you know? They kind of adopted the TNA name again. Remember, for a while it was just Impact, like
Impact, right?
Yeah, but they TNA Impact now. So
a funny title story about TNA when Eric Young found that first version of the TNA title in the trash.
Yeah,
and it was wearing it and stuff, man. You talk about, bro, he's evolved too. He's
Yeah,
evolved himself a
big
lot.
time, big
But
time.
that stuff with him and when he was doing that and he would come out to that clapping, get there, the whole crowd clapping, and he'd be and get in the ring and start running around, and as soon as the bell rang, he'd lock up with the referee.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Bro,
He
just
a lot of that Team Canada stuff as well. He
oh my God, when Steen would come out, he would the pyro would come in, he would jump and fall down and get scared.
yeah, yeah, he was hilarious. He definitely came a long way.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Eric Young, man. One of my favorites of yeah. But yeah, that was a good one. I want to go back to New Japan
Okay.
and their US title.
Yeah.
And I know it's not new as it anymore. It's still fairly young, but it's not new.
Right.
But the title is the way they design stuff that like the bottom of the title looks like it should be turned upside down.
Yeah, it definitely shaped different.
Yeah, but it's got the flag in the small flag in the middle, and it reminded me a little bit of WCW, how they would have the USA and the red, white, and blue at the top, and stuff
Right.
like that. But I'm a big fan of that title. It's got a big size to it, and the strap is different. Just the whole belt is different and cool. And, of course, it's like I say, it's not new anymore. It's just young, but it's still,
It's a
man,
dope belt.
oh yeah,
I like.
absolutely.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
agree.
Yeah.
Like I said, the red strap,
Mhm.
and it current. I don't. I mean, again, it's not like I watch New Japan Pro Wrestling all the time, but if I'm not mistaken, it's still that same design for
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
title.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. What you got now?
All right. Now this is another belt, and I like it because you hear a lot of the things we talk about is the size of
Yeah.
these particular titles. I'm gonna have to go with the AEW World Heavyweight Championship.
Okay.
That went first AEW new company. Well, they not new at this point, but they
They're
about 8
young.
years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Wow.
when
Damn.
yeah, I know.
That don't even
But
sound right now.
don't even sound right. But when they premiered that belt, I was like, that was awesome. I
Yeah.
mean, talk
And
about look like a champion.
right.
I
But
mean,
then they turned right around and then came back and then added stones to it.
right.
And then really came hard with it. That's one of the nicest looking belts of all time. It's got to be in the top 5 because I mean, when you got somebody like Jericho or somebody that wears it, man,
Le Champion.
right? But I mean, it looks so huge on them because they're not huge guys.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And you see them diamonds and all that, and it's two-tone. It's got the gold and the silver on it. Yeah, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with that one.
I like when your boy had it, the Triple B.
Yeah, yeah.
MJF. Shout out MJF.
Absolutely. I'm gonna go to WCW, and I'm gonna tell you about one of the belts I hated. Real
Okay.
quick.
Okay.
And that's their last world tag team titles.
Yeah, yeah. The one that was kind of small, but they had the long side plate.
Yeah, but they were so, looking
Yeah,
at Kevin Nash hold him, it looked like he was
yeah,
holding it looked like a belt buckle.
yeah, yeah,
It just
yeah.
didn't look right. It didn't fit because they had them WCW titles for so long when they had WCW at top and one of the side plates was missing on one of them.
That's the one that Arn and Zabisco brought out, the Cruncher.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the Steiners, Harlem Heat,
right.
they all had that one. But I liked them.
Yeah, they were dope.
Yeah.
But the
but it
ones you're
was
talking about, yeah, I agree. I
the
wasn't really
outsiders
just
brought those out. The outsiders did.
right,
And
right.
they were, like I say, they had the long side plates, but they were small. You know,
Yeah.
it looked like one of them belts. One of them guys had them indie promotions on Joe Pettis on Channel 69 on Friday night. And I remember when, it is no lie, and it just made me think about it. They were talking about somebody in it was somewhere in Georgia they had on there, and they were the tag team champions. Bro, they had some red, white, and blue weightlifting belts with a gold medal in the middle.
It's like something that we were fighting for in your
Right.
backyard,
In the living room or on the front
Pillows
porch or
Drive
something.
Wrestling,
Yeah.
yeah. Was
But
ever has a weight belts with man?
I hated those belts, dog. I hated them.
Yeah,
I thought it was just like, why have something so small? It's wrestling. You're supposed to
right,
overdo everything.
right,
You know, oh, you getting tired. It's been a rough week, dog. It's been
right.
a rough week.
We got to do it for the people. It's for the people.
They've been wanting it. They've been asking for it.
They've been asking for it. Shout
Right.
out Keith Dollar, by the way, my boy. Shout out. You made us get on our horse.
Yeah. One of the certified listener.
Right, absolutely.
And recently fantasy football champions.
Real quick, I know we talk about belts, but since we talk about listeners, real quick, I want to shout out definitely all the subscribers, all the people who hit the like button, and for the people commenting, uh, uh, Kratos Hunt, Tyler Driggers, of course Keith Dollar,
Drigger.
not Nigel Williams. Well, I'm sorry, Nigel Green.
Yeah.
That's my son's mother. Shout out to all y'all who do listen, all y'all, even ones who don't subscribe or don't hit the like button or whatever. We appreciate y'all just tuning in. But for the people who do participate in that way, we really appreciate that. So we read
Absolutely.
your comments. We read your comments, and we really appreciate that.
Absolutely. And we talk bad about all y'all when nobody's listening.
Right.
It's all good. No, man, but for real, man, we appreciate everything, all the feedback, and y'all making us feel like champions right now. So just know that we both are wore out from this week. We tired, but we here and we gonna make something out this thing. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna talk about a few more title belts and we're gonna call it a night.
Right.
But yeah, absolutely. But yeah, man, AEW. That's the title we were just talking about, right? After we got off subject.
No, we talking about that whack ass tag.
Oh yeah, the whack tag team titles. Yeah. So bring something good to the table. We got to talk about something whack. Bring something tight to the table.
I'm gonna go with another WWE title, and I'm gonna go with the I don't know what they call this version of the belt, but it's the world title after the Winged Eagle, the Big Eagle.
Yeah.
The one that
yeah.
Stone Cold and The Rock, Triple H, Mick Foley, Undertaker, Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
Jericho. Matter of fact, Jericho the first undisputed title, so he had the big gold and the Big Eagle. But I really, and again, I know we keep talking about the size. Now, when they came with that belt, of course, Stone Cold retired the Winged Eagle. WrestleMania 14, he beat HBK, holding up the title, the old Winged Eagle.
Yeah.
On Raw, he had the Big Eagle with, again, the blue strap, though.
Right. Yeah.
Of course, they changed it to the black strap. But when I saw that belt, it was round, but it was big.
Yeah.
And it had the eagle, their theme back then with the globe. But I thought that was a pretty damn good looking title.
Yeah. I'm picturing him now, coming out there with that. He brought out the winged eagle that one time on Raw. They had the belt in the case and all that stuff, and he was messing around with McMahon, grabbed the title, went to the turnbuckles, stuff like that. But yeah, the way the front was big, rounded up top, and not as much at the bottom. But it was just like I said, that they hadn't switched titles up for so long,
right?
And when they finally did, they was like, good. They finally came with it. They finally got a big championship. So that was a little bit of, a little overdue and needed a change. And I like it when they change them up.
I do too.
It felt like forever.
Ever.
Right. But you know what I'm talking about with the spinner belt. Bro, it's
don't get me started on that, bro.
Let's talk about the spinner belt. John Cena. The U.S. title was hard.
That was dope.
How he had it spin, had the diamonds and stuff. And
that was dope.
When he beat JBL, when he beat JBL, got the world. And I wasn't a fan of that title either.
No, I wasn't either.
And that was the undisputed title. Undertaker, all them had it.
Eddie
I wasn't a fan of it either. But
yeah, me neither.
That when he brought that spinner title, that was very disappointing for a long time. That's one of them belts. It's like eventually I like the Winged Eagle belt.
Right.
I'm not eventually gonna like the spinner belt ever. It was too much. It had the eagle on there. It was like it looked like something Vince came up with. Oh, this is cool. You know what I'm saying? It spins just like your other one. You know what I'm saying?
You look like one of them rappers out there.
Right.
He out there. He had the club with BMF and shit. You know what I mean? Spinning. Yeah, I don't. And they had. I understand it was Cena's version of the world title. But
and the spinning thing was popular back then, but it wasn't popular for long.
So long, bro. So long. I mean, even like for example, when Edge became champion,
the rated R.
They're gonna change the belt. Yeah, they
just put an R in the middle.
The belt. Yeah, they just put the R in the middle. Which Edge actually had a version of a world title that we saw the design of it later. They wouldn't let him come out with it. Which that's a whole nother story. But,
right.
Yeah, man. It was very disappointing that they had that belt for so long, man.
Right. And it was just, and then you would hear little rumors that they were going to change it, and then it wouldn't happen. You'd be so freaking disappointed.
I mean, even CM Punk had that belt.
Bro. They had him and Cena both had one. And then the Miz had it, and he turned it upside down to where it didn't spin. It was on the M.
I used to like when Miz do that when he with the logo, he turned it upside down. But yeah, right. Miz had the M the upside down. I don't, man.
You talk about the Miz all you want. You talk about the Hall of Fame. Well, he'll be in the Hall of Fame one day. He's a Hall of Famer.
Oh, absolutely.
And I mean, until you came from the real world.
They made fun of that dude for being a wrestling fan.
Man, and he has
made
a career out of it.
I remember one of them, they had them reunion shows. And I think it was because you remember he was in Road Rules and all that as well. So they had a reunion. I can't remember which reunion it was, but at the time he was tag team champion with John Morrison. And he had the tag title with him. And I just remember seeing his roommates from the real world. They was really happy for him, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was living his dream, and he would tell them the belt's real now. And
because he had that plastic one on the show.
Yeah, on the show. Yeah. So
yeah, I remember that.
that I thought that was cool, man. You could tell they were genuinely happy for a dude living out his dream. And
Right.
me being a wrestling fan though, it really put a smile on my face because I'm like, hell yeah, man. Like he wasn't afraid to show that he was a wrestling fan. He wasn't a closet wrestling fan, and he made it, and he on the reunion, and he was actually a tag team champion, so he had his belt with him, so
Right.
that was cool.
Main event of WrestleMania.
Yep,
So
WrestleMania 27 in the ATL.
yep. So you can't say nothing crazy. You can talk about him all you want to, but the man's a Hall of Famer.
And a great talker.
Yeah. Let's talk about personalized belts for a minute. A couple of people that had their own belts. And we had to throw the $1 million championship in there with Ted DiBiase.
That's my favorite.
Yeah. Stone Cold with the rattlesnake, the
Broken Skull.
Smoking Skulls belt with the rattlesnake skin on the back.
That was dope.
Yeah. Who else has had their own championship?
Daniel Bryan had that.
That green.
What was
made out of compost or something?
hemp. It was like a hemp title or something,
right. And not the good kind. This is one to save the earth.
Oh man. Of course, The Rock had he had a title too, but they didn't really they didn't show that on TV a whole lot.
Right. Well, they showing it now.
Well, that's a different one now.
It seemed like I know, but it seemed like he don't go nowhere without that title now.
He's a people's champ, man.
Right. He wearing it in the airport.
Right. Yeah. I'm trying to think of some more.
Jay Briscoe, when he was the Ring of Honor champion, had his own title.
That was dope.
I liked it. It had the fatigues on there, and
that was dope.
Yeah, so hey man, R.I.P. Jay Briscoe, man. One of my Jamie Pugh, one half of the Briscoe brothers with his brother Mark, man. One of my absolute all-time favorite tag teams. I remember just seeing them on YouTube, man, and just was some of the promos they used to do were so hilarious and stuff that they were doing, man, and just started following the careers, and he passed away. I think it's been about 3 years now, 2 years. I don't want to be wrong or anything, but I mean to tell you, they were just on the cusp of being on AEW and the relaunch of ROH, and they were doing they were back on the indies doing a little last indie tour, and really I know they were really enjoying themselves at the time. And he was in a car accident with his daughters in the car with him, and he didn't make it, but man, shout out Jay Briscoe, man. R.I.P. Jay Briscoe. And yeah, man. Ooh.
Got got the FTW championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. If we talk about custom belts, we definitely have to mention that, because I don't want to get choked out by that guy.
Right. And the meaning of the championship was like, I can't get a championship match. I'm better than anybody out here. I can't do this. I'll make my own title. And that's what and we know what FTW means. And it was basically saying that to everybody that wouldn't give him a shot. And just, man, shout out to Taz, man. Of course, injury put him down early. But his ECW days, man, just like we keep going back to ECW and talking about people, bro. Talk about some superstars that came out of there and had some of the best stuff. You could talk about Shane Douglas all you want about being, the dynamic dudes, and him tag team with Ricky Steamboat.
No, he was the shit when he was the franchise.
Yeah, but when he was a franchise dog, you couldn't touch him. You could not touch that man.
One of the best heels.
And he carried that company on his back damn near the whole time.
I agree.
You know,
Triple threat.
Right.
Triple threat.
Right. Him, Bam Bam, Chris, and R.I.P. Candido.
And Bam Bam.
Yeah, yeah. But Shane Douglas, man. You know, Dean Douglas here. And it's just crazy how, you know, you go to company, and you halfway get over, but you get right here and you're running the whole thing. You know, and it's just crazy how the wrestling business works.
Well, you gotta think also, since we're on Shane Douglas right now, he was the one that he threw down
Bro
the 10 pounds of gold. Like,
and they can all kiss my ass.
Yeah. I mean, that was a very pivotal moment in wrestling history.
Bro, they said the NWA committee and them guys were pissed.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Because that was when, you know, they finally merged and they were going to do this. And that man said, forget that. I'm the ECW heavyweight champion. And, bro, that's like what you call it. And a star was born that day. You know, because you knew he could wrestle, but it's more to it than that.
Right.
You know, and riding a skateboard when you're 40-something years old to the ring is not really going to be appealing for a long time.
Hey, man, him and your boy Johnny Ace, man, Laryngitis.
Let me tell you something. I used to hate riding that, but you can see they never rode them. They always just carried them.
You damn right.
Right.
I still can't believe that's Animal's brother, though. Like,
that's crazy.
When I first heard that, I'm like, nah, man.
There's no way.
Yeah.
Right. He wasn't born in Chicago. He's not from the main streets of Chicago, Illinois.
I want to touch back on the.
He doesn't snack on danger and dine on death.
I want to touch back on the $1 Million Man, the $1 Million Man.
Okay.
You gotta think that's the one that looked completely different. Like, dude, like when you see them gold and diamonds, and I remember as a kid when he was having that belt made in them vignettes, and they wouldn't show the belt.
Right.
He'll just be like, more diamonds, yeah, more diamonds. You know what I mean? And when they when they showed that belt, it was like we ain't seen nothing like that ever.
Right. It looked like $1 million. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the $1 Million Man. Yeah.
Yeah, unbelievable, man. That's probably as far as I got my own title. That will always stand out to me because it just looks different.
Right.
There's no belt like it.
Right.
At all.
Totally different.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you, I want to give you an example of when having your own belt or your own strap goes wrong.
Okay.
Okay, so you know the Ultimate Warrior had yellow and purple and
white, all the shit.
Right. Now the white was hard. The white was hard, especially when they used it on No Holds Barred like that. When they had the white strap.
Tainer wire. Shout out Stan Hansen.
Right. Get him, Bubba. But damn, man, he done messed me up, man, saying that. I forgot what I was gonna say. Okay, when Sergeant Slaughter beat Road Warrior, the Ultimate Warrior for the title, he had the purple strap.
Man.
But they didn't change it. And this man's got all this armor fatigue and supposed to be the biggest heel in the company. And has got a purple championship belt. What was everybody doing at that time that didn't just say, hey, you know, we can't
no tell if we talk about Vince here, you know, you hear the stories for Bruce Pritchard and all them, you know, hey, Paul, think that looks good, you know.
Right. Or they might even thought it was funny and just like a reel.
Maybe I don't know. I don't.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, that definitely. And again, the Warrior he's colorful, so I get it. I didn't like the purple strap, but I get it though. I get it because he's colorful. But to your point,
But why
when
not change
Slaughter
it,
won, yeah, when Slaughter won, they supposed to go back to that black strap. I don't know
bro? They
why.
on the video that when him and Hogan met, he's sitting there with the whistle, the thing in his mouth, and holding the purple belt. I'm like, what? This
With
is
that
stupid.
hat, with that hard hat on
Yeah,
or
with
whatever. Yeah.
the whole gear on, but the belt was purple.
Yeah, they didn't think that
Bro,
one
that was
out too
dumb,
tough.
man. Hey,
There,
that was
there's a
dumb.
lot of, there's a lot of, and I know we ain't gonna really go deep down in that, but there's a lot of issues with that year, and like they were supposed to have WrestleMania 7. That was WrestleMania
Uh-huh.
7. They were supposed to have that at the Coliseum in LA, and ticket sales was bad. Rumor, allegedly, ticket sales was bad, so they went and had it at the sports arena
Yeah.
instead. But there also rumors that they had what death threats and stuff to Sergeant Slaughter, which who knows? It probably could have been a
Oh,
little of
bro, I
both.
ain't down it.
But
He
but
turned his back on America.
I think the main thing was they wasn't gonna put 100,000 people in there because nobody really gave a damn about that main event. The Hogan
Man,
thing was stale at that point.
we cold as ice.
Shot, you got Sergeant Slaughter.
You
Hey,
maggot.
nothing against Sergeant Slaughter. He's a
Uh-uh.
legend. But and then you got to think, and then that was his past his GI Joe days when he came back with the company, and he was way past his prime.
Oh yeah,
Way past his prime.
yeah.
So
They gave him another little run to go with, but yeah,
yeah,
you're right about that. Yeah. All right, man. Last one each.
okay,
Let's throw one more out that we throw. You could throw one more out that you liked or you just didn't like it all.
all right, you go
So
first.
uh, I told you to go first. All right, I go first. This one I liked, but I didn't like because I liked it, but I didn't like it. It was the AWA title. It looked like the big gold, but it looked like a cheap version.
Oh yeah, yeah. You not talking about one Hennig and Lawler had. You talking about that one that Nick Botwinkle and them had.
Right. Yeah, the
Yeah,
middle
Stan.
place it looked like that. They had the
Well,
letters cut out.
shout out to Stan Hansen, and he's the one that ruined that one. He ran it over with his truck.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. That one did look kind of. Again, it was big. We like
Yeah.
big belts, but
It
that
was
was
real
weird.
cheap looking because they had, remember, they had the silver on the front, but had the letters cut out of the silver.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looked like some old, yeah. Yeah, I'm not a fan at all. Not a fan.
yeah, yeah.
I thought it was cool because it was big, but that's all it had going for it. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't really. Uh, yeah. Uh, yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one.
But I do want before you do it, I want to give one that I do like,
Okay.
and that was the WWF title, the green one that the Iron Sheik had. You talk about a big belt. The strap was just as big as the belt was, and it had all those nameplates on there with all the different names and stuff on it.
The
I
Bob
thought that,
Backlund.
yeah, I thought that belt was cool. No doubt for real.
Hogan ain't keep that one too long, did he?
Oh no, doesn't work for
Yeah.
me, brother.
Doesn't work for me, brother. Well, I tell you one who I didn't care for. It was the Intercontinental title, the version after the one we talked about earlier, the one that the Rock and Triple H and them end up having after that
I
last match.
hated that belt.
I didn't like that one either. And you remember it started out as a purple strap. which I don't know what Vince was doing with this purple stuff. That one
Right.
started out as a purple strap. It eventually became a black strap.
Yeah, but
But
I never liked that title at all.
yeah, I definitely wasn't really a fan of that version of the title.
Right.
Now I will tell you a belt that has grown on me.
Mm.
Well, first of all, the current United States Championship, I
Yeah.
love that belt.
Okay.
I
Not
do.
not I haven't really got into it yet.
I love that belt because it looks different and it stands out with the lettering,
Yeah.
and they brought the eagle back.
Yeah.
So, but a belt that I really didn't like that's starting to grow on me is the current Intercontinental Championship. I didn't like
Okay.
that. I didn't like it at first when Sami Zayn and all the people had it. I was just like, you know. I would tell you when I started liking it recently, when
Yeah.
Jey Uso
Yeah.
and they put they added the blue
Yeah.
to the globe.
Yeah.
Now I like it. It looks good on Braun Breaker.
Right. Is it
You
gonna look
know,
good on AJ Styles after Elimination Chamber?
I don't think AJ gonna win it. Uh, I mean, I would be happy because we AJ fan, but we also love Braun Breaker. But
Yeah.
I just think they just putting giving somebody a credible opponent for Braun.
Yeah.
Uh, but AJ is the right. AJ really help out with a quality match and teach me a little something in the ring.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. I bump in this mic one more time, about to punch it.
don't do that. But I'm tapped out as far as thinking it. I mean, I'm sure, and you know, this is our list, and
Right.
I mean, there's many other belts out there, obviously, that we do. Like, I'm sure we probably gonna think of something when soon we get offline and be like, damn, I should have brought that up.
right.
But you know, those are the ones I can think of though.
But I will tell you this. I'm gonna go ahead and show you. We talked about the big gold was the all-time number one. I'm gonna show you a close second.
Okay.
I'll show you a close second. And you guys ain't hey, and it's that podcast champion of the world that welcome to Wrasslin belt.
Let's see that on the intro, bro.
Well, now you get to see it in person.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So shout out to us for having this. But yeah. But yeah, that was episode 8, man. Championship belt.
Real quick. I know we wrapping it up, but we have to touch on the Super Bowl.
Oh,
Real quick. I don't want to go to a deep dive because
right.
we tired. But your prediction was right. Mine was wrong. And you got it right by, you said if the Eagles gonna win, it had to be by, you know, a big margin.
Yeah.
Well, they accomplished that. Didn't see that one coming. Not surprised that the Eagles won.
Right.
But I didn't think they were gonna mud stomp them like that.
Right.
Pass rush, it just goes to show you, I don't care who the quarterback is. Pass rush is the key. They made Mahomes look like Dak Prescott in the playoffs. And
bro, that meme you sent me when they had the dude
Scooby-Doo joint. That, man, I was crying when I seen that, man. For those who don't know, Super Bowl, you know, folks be on the memes fast, the internet. So online, I seen somebody with a meme where they had Mahomes in uniform.
Right.
But Fred from Scooby-Doo was like about to pull off the mask.
Yeah.
Pull off the mask, and it was Dak Prescott. In Mahomes uniform, man. It was hilarious.
Yeah, that was good, man. Shout out to the Eagles. It's early, man. Jalen Hurts, man. Jalen Hurts is just destined to be great and always has been, and has overcome every obstacle put in front of him.
Super Bowl MVP, bro.
And
they take that away from him.
No, and it's decision making, bro. It's decision making. Making smart decisions.
Well,
and
we talked about it, right?
Yeah.
What we say, run game. Well, they stopped the run game pretty much, but we knew if they was gonna do that, then Jalen was gonna have the ball. And you know what? To your point, dude's clutch.
Yeah.
He was hitting them. He was hitting them
Yeah.
throws downfield to AJ Brown and threw a long touchdown pass to Smith.
Devontae,
Everything was
yeah.
just
Roll
great
Tide to
timing.
Roll Tide. And
Yeah,
Oklahoma, you can claim him all you want, but he's Bama. He's Bama till you die. You can ask him. Y'all can claim him all you want to, but he's not Oklahoma guy. He's a Bama
yeah,
guy. I think the best thing he could have done for his career was not transferring his junior year
right.
and just working. And I mean, they really turned him into a legitimate passer. And
Right.
then the work that and I ain't taking nothing away from Oklahoma, the work that he got there, I mean, has really, bro, just from getting benched to the losing the championship game, then getting benched in the national title game.
Well, you remember
Coming back in the SEC championship, got to
it was
do
almost
that.
like watching the same game from the year before.
Right. It was like watching a movie.
Yeah.
The stuff like that just don't happen. Dude's
Dude's
but
clutch, man. Hey,
yeah,
happy for him.
yeah.
Eagle Nation. Again, I didn't see not the mud stomp him. So shout out Philadelphia Eagles 2024-25 Super Bowl champions, man.
Yeah.
Stop the three-peat. So I can dig it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm not mad at all. Like I say, some good. We got about 4 or 5 Bama guys on that Philadelphia team. You can call them the Philly Dogs all you want. Blah blah blah.
Well,
But it's Roll Tide everywhere.
The Philly Dogs is what won the damn game.
No, it was them Philly Bama boys. But anyway,
that pass rush won the damn game.
bro, let me tell you something. They had Mahomes running for his life. The whole defense. The defense was on fire, pumped up from kickoff till the clock hit triple zeros.
And I mean, go ahead, bro.
It wasn't no calls that could save Mahomes.
No. No, they tried to that first drive.
That first drive, they damn sure tried to.
Almost pass interference or whatever.
Boy,
which is questionable. Real quick, I know we wrapping it up, but I want to say something about Travis Kelce though.
Okay.
Travis Kelce, I my Travis Kelce story.
Yeah.
But if dude decide to retire, man, shout out to arguably the greatest tight end, definitely of this era, and that's saying a lot. He played same era of Gronkowski, but there's many other great Tony Gonzalez, Shannon Sharp. There's many other great tight ends. So no disrespect to those guys.
Yeah.
But shout out to Travis Kelce. If this is it, man. Hey man, good go. Shout out to you, man. I know that's a tough decision for anybody. He still has some gas left in the tank, and it's kind of hard for me. I still think he probably can play one more since they got beat the way they did.
Yeah.
But if he decide to hang him up, man, no more power to you, bro. Great tight end, first ballot Hall of Famer. Great personality, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, we tired of seeing
came a long way
and
came a way long way from his college career.
Right.
Because college career wasn't very stellar the first couple of years.
No.
All
kinds of, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you retire, bro, shout out to you, man. You one of the greatest. Thank you. Like I know you probably don't even remember who in the hell I am and all that, but man, I'll never forget that game when we chopped it up. That preseason game, man. You didn't have to do that. You real down to earth and cool. And man.
Yeah. And he definitely gonna reach out. He watches the podcast. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, well, we try to get numbers like like Cleveland Heights. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, we got we're brothers from another mother, you know what I mean? So they
Come
brothers.
on.
So both got the beards going. So
Right.
but
Yeah.
I just wanted to touch on Travis Kelce, man. So if you end up retiring, bro,
Absolutely.
great career. If you try to come back, yeah, I want y'all not to win again. But
he'll retire and then go down there to Tampa Bay and play for Baker Mayfield.
right. But yeah,
Hey man, why you playing, man? Mayfield had a pretty good year this year, boy.
He been balling past 2 years.
Yeah, man.
Not hear me say nothing bad about Baker Mayfield at this point.
Y'all just be on the lookout for Spencer Rattler.
Well,
but anyway,
no comment.
Hey man, I like dude. I think he's a good ball player. Just everybody ain't got it, man. The league. First of all, college is different, but the league is totally different.
Yeah. Well, I ain't gonna lie.
You're playing against all ones.
He got thrown in the fire because of Derek Carr being injured and stuff.
Right.
And, he had a first couple of games he was out there. Again, it's not like I'm watching the Saints every week because I can't stand them. But he had a couple rough starts, but then he started getting better at the end. Especially that last game when we needed him to beat Tampa, he was balling. So who knows what's gonna happen with that?
Yeah, man. Shout out to everybody that's doing something. But But hey, this has been episode 8. We're gonna call it a night. Episode 9. We'll be back on track next Monday, and we will be previewing the Elimination Chamber and going in everything. Will be all Elimination Chamber next week. So we'll give our predictions, what we think's gonna happen. I'll probably be right, PO will be wrong, and we'll just keep moving on as we go. But yeah, man, welcome to Wrasslin.
Welcome to Wrasslin.
Welcome to Wrasslin. Hey, we love all y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. Hit us up on the email. Hit us up on Facebook. Everything is welcome to Wrasslin. Welcome to number 2 Wrasslin. Yeah, so welcome to Wrasslin. Try to tell you.
Welcome to Wrasslin, Chetty Bobby. Welcome to Wrasslin with Big E and the POT. Podcast tag champs of the whole world, slamming like a DDT. Got it just like a figure 4. Hulk Hogan, all they do is flex. Talking wrestling while they get the dough. Off the top like a superplex. Think they letting up? Hell no. Dusty Rose with the elbow. From the corner like a stinging splash straight to the face. I know you felt those. Hey, y'all crying out for help though. Rising up like the dead man. About to go upside your head like Stone Cold with the bedpan. Bottom line, if you want the facts, welcome to Wrestling where you need to be. Chetty Bobby, this show improved like John Cena, you ain't seeing me. Bottom line, if you want the facts, welcome to Wrestling where you need to be. Chetty Bobby, this show improved like John Cena, you ain't seeing me. Yeah.